And so I was thinking this morning when I woke up, what could I possibly say that would be beneficial to a lot of people or something that a lot of people should know? And what I came up with was something that, I am so glad that I figured out when I was really young. And that's the simple fact that nobody is coming. And this is just speaking from one man to another man. And I'm so glad that I found this out when I was younger because it saved me from a lot of pain that I'm sure I would have endured as an older adult had I not gone through the things when I was younger. And I want to tell you a story about, why I felt the need to tell you that nobody is coming. And I'll tie it back into the end. It all has to do with fitness as well. So when I was a kid, I was 14 years old when I started playing football. And at that point, I had never played football before. I had never even watched a football game before. So when I went out, it was a pretty difficult thing because up to that point, I thought I was going to follow in the same footsteps as pretty much most of the people in my family and go into the military. So one thing that did prepare me for football was that both of my parents were in the military. So I was pretty disciplined early on because my parents taught discipline before anything else. So I knew the habit of doing things repetitiously for a long period of time. So that came later on in my life to help me out as well. But going out for football, I started when I was 14 years old, and I had never watched a football game before. I had no idea what any of the positions were, but I had the opportunity to play. I was in Alabama at the time, and that's where I went to high school. I was went to high school in Alabama, and someone came out and they were asking my brother if he wanted to come out and try for the team, and I just happened to be standing next to him during lunch, and they said, "Yeah, you can come too." And that's where my journey started. And I had no idea what I wanted to play, what position I wanted to play, but I knew that I wanted to play because my big brother was. And I wish somebody would have told me that how hard football was at that time. But like I said, nobody came to help me, but I decided that I wanted to take that path, and it paid off tremendously. I went out for football, and I didn't know what position I was going to play. So when I was getting my equipment, they asked me what position you play. I'm like, I don't know. I think I want to play wide receiver, and I didn't know what color jersey that meant. So they gave me a white jersey, and then I started getting all these pads, and I'm like, I don't know what to do with all this stuff. I got pads for my shoulders and all these pads that I later found out that they go in your pants, like for your girdle, and then you got your pants and all this stuff. So I'm walking around with all this stuff. I don't know what to do. And, it's kind of embarrassing. Everybody's just getting dressed and heading out to the field. And I'm just sitting up there, with some pads and a pile of pads and pants and stuff like that. And I don't know what to do with them. And somebody helped me out. And yeah, just that was one of the first experiences I had with football that, I'm just in this brand new world and I don't know what to do. And for that one, somebody did come. Somebody was fortunate enough to, lend a hand to, help me get on my way to actually even make it to the field. At that moment in time, I had a decision to make. I could sit there with that pile of pads and just go back home and say I don't want to do this, or I could be uncomfortable, admit that I didn't know what I was doing, take the help and move on. I decided to move on. And going out there, I went between a lot of different positions. I started off at receiver, and I didn't understand the concept of running routes. Like, you tell me I need to run up the field, and then I need to run that way for some specific reason. Then I need to catch a ball. I don't know what that means. So my hands are big. My hands are huge, but I can catch anything. But I didn't understand the concept of running routes, so they moved me, and I went on to play fullback. Well, I found out I like making contact, but I couldn't hold on to the ball because I was more focused on making contact than holding on to the ball. So they moved me again. And from then on, I was at defensive line. Now, mind you, at this point, this is my first time ever playing football, and I started off at receiver and moved all the way to defensive tackle. And I'm 175 pounds at this point, and I'm realizing I'm going to be going against 300-pound dudes every day. And that's when I had another decision to make. Is this something that you're going to do, to be willing to spend all this time to catch up to all these people that are much bigger, stronger, faster than you? Are you really ready to go and take that journey? And I decided I was. So from my junior year, I played defensive tackle I started off at 175 pounds, and I went all the way up to 200 pounds by myself. Now, the reason why that was significant for me is because, like I had to take 2 years and catch up to people that have been playing Pee Wee together or middle school together, and not only having to develop your body, but having to develop the mental capacity to even understand what you're doing for football, balancing school, things like that. And all this mixed up together, and nobody, you can't tell anybody that you don't know how to do this stuff. It's just something that you have to do. Nobody even cares if you didn't. It's just something that you decided to take this path, so you have to take the damage of learning how to do it. That's your decision. So I knew early on that, nobody was going to pity me for starting football at 14 years old, but it didn't stop me from trying. And by the time that I was 18 years old, I was a senior. I started when I was a junior, and by the time I was a senior, I was a starter. And I had picked up over 30 pounds. So I started off at 175, and I ended up almost 210 pounds by the time I graduated high school. And I did play defensive tackle, and ended up getting a scholarship. But this whole time, nobody told me that I was going to have to do extra. Nobody told me that you're going to have to learn more, longer, harder. You're going to have to work longer and harder than anybody out there, because you're starting late. And I ended up actually, getting a scholarship. It was to a junior college, because the whole time everyone came to see me. Like I got so many offers, and everyone came to see me, and they found out that I was small. Like, you play defensive tackle, but you're 200 pounds. I'm like, I can grow. I grew, but nobody really wanted to hear that. They thought that I was a lot bigger. And that's when reality set in. Nobody cares that you play good. They care about what they see. And I'm a kid that has to deal with the fact of, all right, so everybody thinks that I'm too small. Like, my career just started. Is it going to end now? And fortunately for me, I ended up with a couple of different offers. I could have went to a D2 school in Alabama, but instead I decided to take the path of going on an adventure, and I went as far as I could. I decided to go from Alabama to Kansas. And that's when my next lesson happened of nobody's coming. When you decide to pursue your dreams, you immediately put yourself in situations that become foreign to other people. You look around and nothing's going to be familiar to you. You're going to look for somebody to give you some advice on something that you're going through. But the thing is, like, if you're chasing some kind of dream, there's nobody that's going to be able to give you the advice that you need, because you're going to have to be the one to go through it first. And there's a lot of pressure there. But one thing that I can tell you is that if you stop, there is no guarantee that your dream will ever come true. And one thing that I'm fortunate for is that my dad gave me the best advice that he could possibly have given me, and that was, do the best you can. And the reason why do the best you can was the best advice for me was that that's really the only advice you can take, because when you're going on a path that nobody's ever taken before you, they can't say, make sure you watch out for this or make sure you do that, because nobody's ever been there. You are the first one to take that path. So it's up to you to write that story. And then after you write the story, it's up to you to go ahead and tell somebody else how to get through that path. And that's what I believe that I'm doing now, is because I've been there. And no matter how old you get, we're always going to have to encounter hard things that nobody's going to understand except for you. And you have to know that no matter how old we get, the fact of the matter is still remains that for us, nobody's coming. And I want to tie this back into our health, that it is absolutely important that we get our health under control now, mainly because it only gets harder as we get older. And getting our health under control and becoming happier and healthier and making it a lifestyle, it takes time. But I think what most people are interested in is quick fixes. They just want to worry about how you look exterior on the exterior, when that's not even the most important thing. It's like it gives you longevity, it makes you happier, it makes you healthier, it makes everything about your life so much better. But we have to do it now. And the hard part about it is, with everything that we have going on in our life, nobody's going to come and show you how to get it done. So I'm going to show you everything that I did with the little bit of limited time that I had in order to get this taken care of, because we are running out of time. And the longer that we wait to get this weight off, the longer that we wait to take care of our health, the harder it's going to be. Because looking at the future, it doesn't seem like we're going to get any more time anytime soon. So we have to figure out quicker, more efficient ways to take care of ourselves and take care of everybody else too. Because if something has to give, it should not be your health. That should be the last thing, because you need your health to make everything else in this world work. So it is up to you now to think about it and start to make moves to do something about it. Nobody's coming, but there is help. I can help you get through it. So this is what I wanted to talk about. Just nobody's coming. So stop looking around for it. You have to find it, whatever it is in yourself, to go after it and take care of it yourself. Because, yeah, nobody's going to want it more than you do. I promise you that. And one other thing that I can tell you is that your life will never be the same after you chase your dreams. Because it's going to make everything else in your life afterwards so much easier, because you know the process that it takes to get it taken care of. And you may be wondering, like, you're not a millionaire or anything. Like, that was never my dream to become a millionaire. I wanted to have the biggest and baddest adventure that I could ever have. Because, yeah, I'm a gamer, man. And one thing that I want to do is go on adventures. And I did. I went on adventures pretty much my whole life. And I'll never tell you anything that I haven't done before and give it to you as advice. These are things that I've gone through, I've lived through, and I can give to you as this is what worked for me. So, take it for what it is. But yeah, we got a long time to do this. So let's start making actions towards getting life taken care of now, so that we can free up time to kind of do some other stuff. Because just a little sneak peek of what and if you stuck around this long, I appreciate it. And I did want to throw this in earlier. Have you guys ever wondered or heard the buzzword passive income? So that's one thing that that seems to be, people seem to like use the word a lot, but not necessarily have an accurate description of passive income. Is actually semi-passive, something that you have to, be involved in on a regular basis. So one thing that I'm involved in is I love tech because I'm an IT guy. So one thing that I'm involved in is crypto. And before you turn it off, one thing I'm involved in is crypto, and this is like a new and emerging technology that not a lot of people know about. And I'm so excited because there's so many cool things that I want to talk to you about as far as crypto goes. This is like one of my passions. It's one of my hobbies. I've been involved in it for over 3 years. And I think that I found something so cool that I know a lot of you guys are going to want to know about. I just have to figure out how to make those kind of videos. But if you're wondering about, making money on the side without actually having to go out and, grind for it, or, potential of, making like a little bit of extra cash, this is something cool that I've been working on for a long time. And I just, I don't have any friends that actually do crypto. So it would be cool if, somebody else was, interested in it too. I believe I'm going to start a community pretty soon on, things like this for making money, passive income plays, and um, and also fitness, because it's what I do. So if you guys would be interested in, like potentially joining community and, just getting like minds together, because I feel like, there's a lot of ideas out there and we're so scattered, but I'd like to bring it all into one area so that, I can show you the things that I know to, potentially get you some, passive income going. And this is nothing that I'm going to charge you for, like I just have to create it and, figure out a way to explain it to you. But this is something you guys are maybe interested in, like crypto. And I do plan on making some videos about it, and we can go back in that conversation at that point. But just leave something in the comments, just say like yes, or, something like that you'd be interested in it. Because what I believe in is, we are at a pivotal time in our life to where, we have to start defining what we want out of life. And what I want out of life is to be unique in the things that I do. I want to look good, and I want to have a lot of money. Now, if that sounds like something that you're interested in too, make sure you like and subscribe, because we're going to go through a lot more of this information and work on some ways that you might not have ever heard of on making passive income. So like and subscribe, and I look forward to talking to you guys later. Peace.